Welcome to Go Loot Yourself, a podcast about streaming on the internet. I am CherryCake.
And I'm Krunnky.
And I'm Snuffas.
We aim to bring you regular interviews with your favorite streamers and to find out more about the person behind the webcam.
To give you more of an inside look into how they got started, what their goals are, and what keeps them coming back to stream.
Today we're speaking with Snuffas89, who you can find at twitch.tv/SNUFFAS98. Variety streamer, plays games like Assassin's Creed, Overcooked, Civ 5, and PUBG.
Yep, I've been playing a bunch of PUBG, Fortnite, and just got into the Assassin's Creed, kind of the older games recently. They were on sale on Humble Bundle, and I got hooked on the pirate theme of them, which I'm really enjoying.
Is that Black Flag? Was the pirate theme one?
Yeah. I just finished Black Flag last night on stream, and I got Rogue, so I started that last night as well, which I've heard is kind of like Black Flag, and then it has the pirate theme in it.
You're a big pirate theme person then?
No, I really wasn't, but I downloaded Black Flag because I heard it was I got Black Flag because it was free, and I heard it was one of the best Assassin's Creeds. And the more I played it, I was like, holy crap, the pirate theme in this is really neat.
Does that remind you, or are you playing those because you're anticipating any future games?
I can't wait. I've been watching a lot of the streamers on Twitch are playing Sea of Thieves, which I have. I cannot wait for that game to come out. A buddy of mine got into the closed alpha that was in the summer of 2017, and I went over to his house and played it a little bit, and I loved it. It is so much fun.
I
don't know much about it. What kind of game is it?
It's basically like it's like an MMO, but it's like cartoon characters. So you sail around, you can destroy other people's ships, steal other people's ships, find buried treasure, find different stuff. It looks really, really neat, and it's cross-platform, which I think is really cool.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah. Because a guy that my next door neighbor who I play a bunch of video games with doesn't have a PC. I'm trying to introduce him into the PC master race.
Yes.
But he was asking me the other day, so I did a little research, and it is going to be cross-platform with the Xbox One and the PC. Now, I'm not sure about PlayStation.
I don't think it's been released for PlayStation yet.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I wonder if Microsoft had a hand in its development. Maybe that's why.
Probably. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. And then there's another pirate game that I've been playing a lot called Black Wake. It's a very early access, very bare bones. There's no frills to it, but you're pretty much part of a crew on a pirate ship, and your job might be loading the cannons or shooting the cannons, and you have a captain, and there's hand-to-hand combat, and it's very, very rough, but the gameplay is very cool.
That sounds neat.
Sorry, Crunk.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say, from what I've seen of Black Wake, it seems like there's some elements from that are in Sea of Thieves, with like the navigating the boat and that kind of area from it. But Sea of Thieves has a bit more depth to it because you get to go to like different areas, and there's like a treasure map that you find, and that kind of stuff. Whereas Black Wake is just purely on the boat then. Right.
Black Wake is just kind of the sea battles. And Sea of Thieves is going to be, you're going to have the sea battles, but you're also going to have like buried treasure and different excursions you can do on islands and everything. The thing I kind of like to compare it, Black Wake is kind of like the PUBG, and Sea of Thieves is kind of like Fortnite. So where Sea of Thieves is a bit more cartoony, but a bit more polished, Sea of Thieves, it's got just a different feel to it, but it's also good in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played, talking about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It came out on the Wii U like a couple of years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no one did, and for good reason, because it was terrible on there. That game's got some open world sections, and the system just couldn't handle it. I played it, and it was like chugging at 15 frames per second at certain parts, and like it had some of the bugs at launch that they had fixed on the other versions. So I didn't really get very far, but it looked like a really neat game, like maybe the best of the series.
I loved it. That's the first Assassin's Creed I've played since... I played 3 a little bit because it was free with your Microsoft Gold or whatever your online subscription was for the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I played that a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed games. I just don't like the stealthy... I don't know. I don't like that type of game. And so I downloaded Black Flag when it was free, and I got into playing it, and I got into the pirate theme, and I was like, other than the Assassin's Creed kind of overlying theme to this game, like the pirate theme is really cool. I'm really having a good time playing this game.
Yeah, it did look really neat because it had like the, the assassin-y stuff where you're sneaking around town hunting down people, and then it also had the boat stuff that looked very interesting and fun to play.
The sailing and the sea battles were really fun. I had a lot more fun in them than I expected. Plus, you get to drink rum with the game because you're just going along with the theme of it. So
right,
that goes hand in hand with streaming.
You almost are required to, I would think.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Requirement. You sign a little contract when you download Black Flag. It says you must drink rum every single time you play this game. And I'm like,
Captain Morgan.
Yeah. If you're going to twist my arm, I'll go ahead and do it.
And it probably doesn't have the same problem that I have with drinking while playing PUBG, and that it makes you worse.
No, it makes you way better. It makes
your pirating skills go up when you drink rum.
Yeah. You can sail around and shoot cannons way better when you're drinking rum than when you're not drinking rum. It's a proven fact, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
So I know you said just then, you mentioned you played, was it 3 a little bit?
Yes. Yeah, I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3 for the Xbox 360. Once again, it's free, and I'm a cheap ass. So I downloaded it for the 360 a while ago. And I played it a little bit, and I don't know. It was fun for, a couple days. I invested probably 4 to 5 hours into it, but I just wasn't a huge fan of it.
Are there any others that you'd consider playing?
Well, I bought Rogue. I played Black Flag, and I loved Black Flag so much. I saw Rogue was either a prequel or a sequel to Black Flag, and it still has the pirate theme in it, kind of. And I loved the pirate theme so much in Black Flag that I downloaded Rogue. So I started that last night and played for 30 minutes to an hour. So that'll be my story mode game that I'll be streaming from here on out, or until I beat that, is Black Flag or Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Well, you said that you like to be a cheap ass with games, and one of the main reasons that I wanted to have you as a guest on the podcast is because whenever I hang out and chat with you, either in your stream or mine, I'm often reminded of myself, maybe a little younger version of myself, but you've got at least 2 kids, I think.
I have 3. Yeah,
you have 3 kids.
Yeah. I have a 2-year-old girl, a 3-year-old boy, and then another boy who's about to be 6.
Okay, and you got a full-time job.
Yep.
Couple kids, 3 kids, and you're married.
Yep.
How do you juggle Twitch with all of those other things and stream? I mean, what is that like for you? I know. Just the reason I brought it up is because being a tight ass and spending your money wisely is something you have to do when you have kids and family to take care of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I try to do at least 3 streams a week for 4 hours. I try to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights for at least 4 hours, and then if I can do Saturday or Sunday, awesome. If not, then I don't do it. But I usually try to wait until the kids go to sleep, and so I'll usually stream from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight Eastern, and I don't have to wake up the next morning real early because I work from home, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, you don't always get the newest games, or if there's 3 new games that come out, you usually only get maybe 1, and you gotta kind of juggle your Twitch and your streaming and your gaming with the family and the husband and the dad and all that stuff, and it's a fine tightrope to walk, and I'm trying to do that a little bit better here in the future, because you'll come home from baseball practice or basketball practice on a Monday, and I say, I'm going to stream from 8 to midnight, and you put the kids to bed and everything, you sit down, you have dinner. 8 o'clock rolls around, you're sitting in your lazy boy watching Sports Center, and you're just like, I kind of just want to sit here and go to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it a lot more enjoyable because when I first started streaming, when I first got into Twitch, I was watching big streamers that were getting, thousands and thousands of views, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like this, I could do this. I could get thousands and thousands of views. And I feel like when I started streaming, I was streaming for all the wrong reasons. Like, right. I was just streaming for views. I was just streaming to quote unquote become popular. And honestly, Krunnky, it didn't occur to me until I started getting. I think you retweeted one of my things, and you came into my channel one time. And for the longest time, for some reason, I thought you were a Twitter bot. Your Twitter handle was one of those retweet Twitter bot things. And then you came in my channel one time, and I went into your channel, I think the day after, and I started getting involved with Jess and Cherry and Dee and everybody else in that. And I was like, man, this is like so much more than that's just on the surface. Like, it's not about views. It's not about anything like that. It's about being involved in this community and like meeting new people and enjoying new people's experiences and other games that you would have no interest in playing in. Like, it's a lot more in depth than it just looks on the surface. Twitch is, and streaming and the community and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. How long have you been streaming?
I've been streaming for maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Because I couldn't remember, honestly, whether I stumbled into your channel or you stumbled into mine first. I was sitting there thinking about it on the way home today before this interview going, when did I first meet him? And I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I started streaming maybe a year and a half ago, and it was very sporadically. It was maybe 2 or 3 times a month, and the game I was playing then was 7 Days to Die, which is a zombie apocalypse game, and which is immensely fun if you have 3 to 4 people to play with.
I think I have that game, and I don't know if I've ever turned it on. Is that the one that's kind of like Minecraft-ish, where you got to find supplies? Yeah, I did play that.
Yeah, Dee was telling me about it. She played it, and I think Gorby and Dama play it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's still in pre-alpha. It's still rough around the edges. There's still a lot of stuff that's not perfect, but you can spend hours and hours and hours in that game of crafting and building and setting up, and it's a lot of fun when you have a group to play with.
That's kind of the vibe that I got from it. I played it one night, probably after a few beers, and while I really wanted to play something else, I was like, but I could see, especially the social aspect of it, being very fun, and that kind of brings us back to, what we were just talking about with Twitch, is that, that so much more than I expected, sort of like you said, Twitch has become like a hangout, a group of friends and family, and there are people that come in and people that go out. And I had a person stop in my chat yesterday named Buzzy KO, who I literally could, like when I was trying to remember where we met, I was like, I know that name, and I don't think I've seen him for 6 months, but he came back and was like, hey, how you been? Sorry, I've been gone. I've not been able to be on Twitch. I got school. And it's like, it just reminds you that this community is so much fun to be around and to hang out and to play games with each other. We're talking about doing a tabletop simulator stream before we started this podcast recording, and I just think that's a very good point that you had. This is a lot of fun and a lot more. It's surprising how much more important it is to me than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, it goes a lot deeper than just watching somebody play a video game. Like,
I'm just trying to say I love you, man.
I know. Don't run away from your feelings. Like, I watch today. I was watching Jess play Euro Truck Simulator. I have no interest in playing that game. The game doesn't excite me at all. Like, I don't care. I was watching Cherry play the new Mario game. Like, I like Mario, but I'm not a gigantic fan of Mario. Like, I don't have a Switch. I wouldn't play that. I was watching Cherry play Dark Souls. That game doesn't interest me at all. But just being able to hang out in their chat and talk to them and talk to everybody else in the chat, it's really neat.
Cherry, are you going to let him shit on Mario like that?
Well, I was just about... Sorry, Snuffas, I think you meant Jess playing Dark Souls, because I played Dark Souls like a year ago for like...
No, I'm sorry.
2 days.
Brutal Nerd.
Oh, Brutal.
Not
right.
you, Cherry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of that game.
Yeah, I was watching Brutal play Dark Souls.
I think our streak is alive.
I do like Sonic. I have a nostalgic streak. Okay, I like Mario and Sonic, and I was playing GTA 3 the other day, and I like those kind of games because they remind me of childhood.
Did you notice that Snuffas kept our Dark Souls mention streak alive?
Oh God.
Yeah. I heard chaos. I heard chaos last week, and I was like, I gotta work Dark Souls into the conversation somehow. I was like, I cannot let a pod go without working Dark Souls in.
It's not going to die, is it?
It will never die.
And especially now the remastered version is going to come out as well. That's going to be all hype.
What is dead may never die.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh God.
I mean, that's literally the story of that game, is that that the world won't die.
And I still haven't started on. I have all 3 of them downloaded, and I just haven't. I don't have the balls yet to start it. I don't think. I watch Brutal Nerd play it all the time, and I'm just like, man. everybody talks so highly about this game, but the more I watch it, I have no interest in playing this. I'm like, maybe it'll be different once I get in and start playing it with my character and start going through a lot of the stuff. But watching her play it, I'm just like, nope, I have no interest in playing this whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I have a friend named, you've probably hang out with him in chat before, Dama, that I've known for years, and he and Gorby and a few other people who don't hang out as much anymore, Ollie, and people that you've probably never even met. We were in a gaming guild 2004-ish, and we used to have conversations about what games are great, and we we've been able to talk about our tastes in games and see them change and evolve over time, and almost get to the point where you can predict who's going to like what game if you know somebody well enough, right? Mm-hmm. And what I've come to observe, I think, over the course of 2 decades, 3 decades of playing video games, or 50, depending on who you are, is that certain aspects of gaming are important, more important to other people. And I know that's not a big, bold statement there, but Dark Souls, I think, appeals to the people who like to have control over their character or feel the impact of their movements. It's got a weighty combat to it. It's funny that you mentioned Mario and Sonic, Cherry, because I think it directly relates to that. Mario always has what people will call tight controls. It feels like there's a predictable element to the physics in that game, or there's a weight to the movement. When you jump, you can move in the air, and that's what Miyamoto called action games. 3D Zelda, when it first came out, did this very well. It felt like there was a world that you could actually interact with, whereas a game like Sonic, as fun as it is to go fast, that game is a little bit more random, and even people who love Sonic will go, that's not where I wanted, or it's not where I thought he was going to go. That's not how he's supposed to react in the world to that physics thing, that spring or that whatever it is. And I think that's why Dark Souls is popular, and other people have a huge blind spot for it, or don't understand why it's so popular. Is it really nails that piece at the cost of several other things like repetitive gameplay, yada yada.
Okay, are you done with Dark Souls now?
I don't know.
We might talk 10 more minutes about Dark Souls. I never thought about that Dark Souls. I guess I'm gonna have to break down and play it. I'm not gonna do it on stream because I'm sure I'm gonna get extremely pissed off. I see how many times everybody dies on it, and I don't have the best patience when it comes to video games, really.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but if you're looking for advice, and you want to get a bunch of follows, I would say do it. Do it and call it a rage stream, and then just warn everyone. I'm probably going to get pissed off. And that's because people there is a group of people who love to watch first time Dark Souls players, not because they want to laugh and go, haha, that guy sucks. It's because they're commiserating. They remember themselves at that point, and they see how they overcame it, and they're looking to see you do that and to come around.
I've seen some of these Dark Souls guys that are they know Dark Souls inside and out, and their streams will be labeled with 35 different achievements or runs or whatever they're trying to do. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? They're
80%
trying to
no death, Duke skip. Yeah, I know.
I'm only using a one eye patch with a club that's on fire, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? What's going on? What are you talking about? Are you trying to beat the game, or is achievement or something? But yeah, there's people that know this game inside and out, more than really any fan base I've seen for one game.
D and I were watching Chichin Law, he's just Chichin now. It was our episode 3 of the podcast. Last night he was playing Dark Souls 3 with blindfold on.
Oh, I watched a little bit of that. Yeah, I was watching him, and he said, I think the boss just did so and so, and he did the attack that Chichin said, and I was like, how do you know this? I was like, that's insane. How much have you played this? How do you? I think some people's minds just work differently, because I could play that game a million times, and I don't think I could ever be able to play any game I've ever played blindfolded. Maybe Final Fantasy Tactics. Maybe
there was a guy that I watched on. I don't remember how I stumbled upon the video, but he was a legally blind. He could detect light. Mm-hmm. If someone turned a light on the room, he couldn't see anything in the room, but he could say, okay, there's a light on. Okay, now it's darker. That was about his level of vision. And he would play Street Fighter in tournaments based on sound alone.
Oh my God!
There's a video, I'll have to find it, put it in the links to this episode. But he didn't win tournaments, but he was competitive. He would get in there. Yeah, but that's a game where if you've ever played a Street Fighter game, that there's cues for every attack. When they jump, they go, huh, or when they punch, they make a certain sound. Yep. Or did you play Street Fighter 4 a lot?
Yeah. Yeah, I played Street Fighter, and then I played Marvel vs. Capcom a lot. I played a bunch of Street Fighter, but Marvel vs. Capcom was kind of the arcade game when I was middle school. I think we had an arcade up at our mall. We played a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom. They had was it Marvel vs. I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom.
I know that's a genre because I think I have that Steam.
Yeah, and they played a Street Fighter. I don't remember which one. They had a Street Fighter one up there, and then they also had a Mortal Kombat. And I don't remember which Mortal Kombat it was. But we'd rotate in between those three, cabinets, playing the fighting games.
Exactly. Gorby and I were talking, I think at our year-end episode about, you're either a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter, person, or at least that's where you got your start. At least our generation, because those were like the first two that, at least in the States, got mainstream acceptance and were in every arcade cabinet or every arcade everywhere.
I remember the first Mortal Kombat game I brought home and was playing on, I want to say it was a PlayStation. We were playing it on the TV, and one of the finishers, I think you knocked a guy off a platform and he fell into a thing of spikes, and it was like his spine busted out and blood went everywhere. And my mom was watching it, and she was like, "What the hell are you kids playing?" And I was like, "Mom, it's just a fighting game." She was like, "I don't know if you should be playing this."
Exactly.
I was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Maybe 8 or 10. I was pretty young. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how old I was when let's see, I would have been about 12 or 13, and the Super Nintendo was brand new because, as we've established earlier, I'm old. And I got a Street Fighter 2. You have to understand, up until that Street Fighter 2 came out on Super Nintendo and I think Genesis, those games were not available at home. And it was a stripped down version of it, but it was still pretty close. But I remember all my friends making fun of me for getting the Super Nintendo version because the blood was changed to green because they couldn't show blood on Nintendo consoles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
My first memory of video games was, I don't remember if it was a SNES or just an NES, but it was Pitfall. Whichever console Pitfall came out on first, that's the first memory I have of video games. I was sitting there playing Pitfall from a console we rented from Blockbuster because we sure as hell couldn't buy one. So you could rent them from Blockbuster back in the Stone Age. And my mom came into the living room. She was pregnant with my sister, 9 months pregnant. She was like, "We have to go to the hospital now." And I remember being so pissed off that we had to go to the hospital for my sister to be born because I was right in the middle. I was right in the middle of a Pitfall game. And I was like, "We just got this from Blockbuster. I have a limited time with this new system, and we have to go to the hospital to have my baby sister born." I was like, "This is ridiculous." I was like,
"Can't you just have that kid later?" Jesus,
exactly.
Mom.
Like, can't you delay the birth of my baby sister to let me play Pitfall? This is ridiculous.
I've almost beat this level, Mom. Gosh. Yeah, I the first Pitfall I ever remember seeing was the Atari 2600, but that was like mid 80s.
Yeah,
which
for sure wasn't that. It was either the NES or the SNES, one of the two.
That's funny. Yeah, so let's see. You were born in 89, right?
89, yeah.
So let's see. When you were in high school, we'll just say you were 16 or 14, 15, 16. Yep. That was like the mid 90s, right?
No, that was
like
the mid 2000s because I graduated in 2007 from high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you graduated the same year my daughter was born.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. But yeah, so mid 2000s. That was like right after the GameCube and the PS2 came out.
Yeah, PlayStation 2, and then the first Xbox came out. And I was a huge Sony guy, man. PlayStation 2, wouldn't touch the Xbox. That was sacrilege to touch the Xbox. and my buddy got one for Christmas, and we were huge. Cherry, like I've told you before, I was a huge jock in high school. I was your typical jackass, douchey jock. So I went over to his house, and he had the new NBA game, and we were playing it, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, the Xbox kicks the crap out of anything the PlayStation has.
Because they had an NBA game?
Well, the way the NBA game played, the graphics were better, the flow of the game was better, it wasn't as choppy, it wasn't as blocky. I was like, oh man, I got to get me an Xbox.
Which was it, NBA Live or 2K?
Yeah, it was NBA Live 2005, and I believe Steve Francis was on the cover of it.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Steve Francis for what
Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Yep. Wow.
Man, yep. I don't remember the covers I remember the Madden NFL covers because I played that every year.
Yeah, the first Madden NFL cover was the running back for the Tennessee, Eddie George.
The first one you remember?
No, I think the first one on the PlayStation 2 that I remember was 2001 or 2002. Eddie George for the Tennessee Titans, I believe, was the first cover
2001, athlete. Yeah. I was going to say the first person on the Madden cover was John Madden.
Yeah, it was just him. He was on there for a couple years.
He was on the PC version when it was 7-on-7. It was all that could process.
Well, I tell you, he really turned himself into a franchise, didn't he? I mean, those Madden games are still churning out every single year, selling millions of copies, and he's doing nothing, just raking in that money.
He's just sitting back eating turduckens.
Yeah. I was like, that really.
I remember playing one of the Madden games on was it the Mega Drive, or as you guys would call it, the Genesis, whichever.
Yes.
Like one was, or one of the early ones that was released for that. Me and my sister used to play that a lot.
Did you really? Who was your favorite team?
Oh, do you know what? I couldn't actually tell you off the top of my head.
Was it the London Silly Nannies?
It was.
Yes, totally was.
Oh man, well, it's funny because I was playing with my nephew one of the on one of the old games. I had an emulator on my computer. This is way back. We were playing Madden, an old Madden, and he goes, "Where are the Jacksonville Jaguars?" I go, when this game came out, there was no such team.
They weren't here, buddy.
Yeah.
I still play Blitz, the original Blitz that came out for Nintendo 64. I honestly play that a ton. It's still one of my favorite games ever made. And the Houston Oilers are there. There's no Texans. There's no Tennessee Titans. There's no Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think there's any Carolina Panthers.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Panthers. What'd you say, Cherry?
Oh no, I was gonna ask, is there any teams in that game that don't exist now?
The Houston Oilers.
Yeah,
they got
Oilers
rebranded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't talk to Dama about the Houston Oilers. Oh,
really?
His favorite team is the Cleveland Browns, and when all of that happened, the Browns literally moved their team. To I think Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
And they rebranded, became a different name in a new town, and then they didn't have a team for 2 or maybe 4 years. I don't remember exactly how long. They finally got it. They got the Houston Oilers, or somebody moved their team back to Cleveland, and they became the Browns again.
Yep.
Wow.
To be fair, the Browns haven't had a football team in the past 3 seasons, so nothing really much has changed.
Longer than that, I want to say. Of course, I can't talk. My Colts have been terrible this year. So what happens when your number 1 draft pick quarterback doesn't play for a full year, I suppose?
Yeah, that's going to happen when you have your star player who's out and hurt.
Yeah, you can't help that. He got injured, though.
Yeah.
He'll be back next season.
He's been injured quite a bit in his NFL
He's been injured
career.
quite a bit because we said, you know what, we've got everything except for an offensive line. We don't need one.
Don't protect him. We're just gonna put a bulletproof vest on you, man. You'll be fine. Just head right out there.
Flak jacket.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine, buddy. Head right out there. Deer in the headlights stare.
So, what was the first console that you had when you moved out? When you got your own? Did you build a computer? Did you have a Xbox? Did you have a PlayStation? What did you go when you got out on your own? What did you go with?
The very first console I ever purchased with my own money was a computer. It was in 2001 or 2002, somewhere around there. I was working with my stepfather at the time at a funeral home, making side money.
Okay.
Yep. And my history teacher told me about this game called Rome Total War. I'm a huge history buff. I love history. And he was telling me about this game called Rome Total War, where all the armies fought in historically correct patterns, and they reacted historically correct to a cavalry charge or archery or something like that. And so I went out and bought an E-Machine computer just to run that game.
E-Machine.
Yeah, E-Machine.
I remember.
Yeah. So that was my first ever console that I ever purchased, kind of with my own money that I ever owned, or not console, but gaming rig. I bought it for the sole purpose to play Rome Total War, a game that I still play to this day.
Yeah, I know. I never got into it, but I had a friend of mine, actually, drummers in my band. His son played that game so much that he started asking me about it. He was not a gamer, and he's like, "My son is just playing this game hours at a time. Is it bad for him to play?" I go, "No, that's when it comes to an educational game, that's one of the better ones."
Yeah, yeah. You have to manage your money. You have to manage your army. You have to manage your cities. You have to strategically place your army to if you want to hide from the opposing armies, or if you want to have a strong enough city to make the plebeians, if you will, go down and not have a riot. It's the game. It was way ahead of its time, and I wish some of the battle aspects in that game would go into Civ. I think that really makes Civ to be a cooler game, in my opinion.
I agree with that 100%. I've recently had some friends ask me about Civ, and I'm like, I've never really gotten into it because it seems like almost like a digital board game rather than an actual, like you said, it's an actual battle simulation or simulation of a civilization. It's turn-based and it's kind of monotonous in my book.
Yep. I've invested almost, or no, actually, let me check, because I think I just, I did. I just went over the 2,000-hour mark in Civ a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I play that game an insane amount. I mean, it's a little embarrassing. We now plan a lot of our family holiday stuff around LAN games of Civ.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I play it, my brother-in-law plays it, and two of my wife's cousins play it. So we'll go and do the family thing during the day for almost every single holiday, and then the night of the holiday, we'll go back to my cousin's house and start a LAN game of Civ up. And we won't leave until the Civ game is done, which could take, 10, 12, 16 hours.
No way.
Oh my god.
What's the appeal of the game then, Snuffas? Because I like Krunk, I don't understand the concept of Civ. To me, it just sounds quite boring. No offense, but
yeah, strategy. I like to prove that I'm smarter than everybody else.
Okay.
To put it lightly, I like to prove that I can strategically manage my Civ better than everybody else, and it's a lot of fun to play with people there. When you play with the AI, it's also kind of fun, but you don't get that satisfaction of when you destroy their army to look across the table and see him crying in his hands.
Well, and you probably start to see, the code in the Matrix after a while. We play that game enough, you start to recognize patterns and things, ways that you could predict what the AI is going to do. I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can play the game now. I'm pretty much the hardest difficulty after having 6 or 7 cases of beer and win. I've played it so much I can predict every single thing that's usually going to happen. Know what builds to do and what civs and where to move my army and all that stuff.
Well, if you like those type of games, have you ever played Crusader Kings series?
I have not. I've seen that before, but I've never played that.
It's more it's like a bigger version of like the board game Risk.
Oh, okay.
In my mind, my real dad and I we chat on Steam a lot, and he's a big gamer. Like I didn't know him until relatively recently, and it's like meeting my long lost older brother. He and I are almost exactly alike. We're both huge computer nerds, love playing video games. I'm looking at his Steam profile right now. In Crusader Kings 2, he has 8,092 hours on record.
Oh my god! Holy crap!
Now he'll tell me well, it counts if I go to bed and just leave the game on overnight,
right?
Even though my computer's in sleep mode. I'm like, yeah, but then it also told me that you played 140 hours this week. He's retired, so he just sits there and plays it all hours of the day.
That's awesome. That's cool. That's cool. No,
I think it's a bit of an older game. It'd have to be for him to get freaking 8,000 hours.
To look into that. I've seen it before on certain websites and stuff, but I've never seen any gameplay or ever even looked into it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I was giving him shit about it, and he goes, yeah, I've seen how many hours you have in PUBG. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, seriously. I wake up, Krunnky's playing PUBG. Go to sleep, Krunnky's playing PUBG. I'm like, good God, this guy's always on it. I can't play it for that long. Like, I just can't.
Krunk's got a little bit salty with it lately, so
turns out neither can I.
Yeah,
I get bored with it. Like, I feel now in the game's defense, there's only 2 maps. And I do feel when you drop into those 2 maps, you get a different experience a lot of the time. When I was playing it a bunch, at least, I got a different experience almost every time I drop in to the maps. But
yeah, one sucks and the other one sucks worse.
Yeah. But I would just, I don't know. I just kind of got bored. I never got really super frustrated with it, and I never got super mad at it. I just kind of got bored with it. Like it just wasn't. It wasn't as fun. Playing with others, playing in a group or playing in a squad is a lot more fun. But just kind of playing solo, I'm just like, yeah, 3 or 4 games here, then I'm done. It doesn't hold my interest.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm definitely with you on that one, Snuffas. I would definitely prefer. I don't think I've really ventured into the solo play on it. More often than not, I'm playing with Krunk or with Krunk, Damer, and Gorby and other people.
The thing about that game that draws me in repeatedly is because, like you, I do enjoy strategy, and planning, but it also mixes in the action with it. So it's like the a special mixture of heroin, I guess. Just can't put it down. Like it's got the overworld, the managing the circles and running away and trying to figure out the best way to move against like the plane lines. But it also has the Twitch gaming tactical feel of getting into a firefight and trying to outshoot the other people.
Yep. And I'm horrible. I mean, just absolutely awful at most first-person shooters. Like any of the CODs or the Battlefield or Battlefront, I'm really, really bad at them. And I feel like that's kind of why I'm a little bit better at PUBG. Not a ton, but a little bit better. Is there is a strategical aspect to it of putting yourself in a position or position to succeed or a position to win, as to where COD and Battlefield and Battlefront, it's just like, fast twitch muscles, run up, shoot somebody in the head.
Mm.
Exactly. And the best PUBG players that I've seen are the people who are really good at the twitchy stuff, but also without even really vocalizing it or thinking too hard about it, they naturally move the circles well. There's a guy I just talked about named WTF Moses, and a guy named Wacky Jackie 101 who I watch a lot of their YouTube videos because they talk strategy, they talk how to improve your skill set. So I look at a lot of those, and those guys, there's like an uncanny ability that they have from playing other games, or they're just born with, or because they have people dead before I even see them on the screen. Sometimes it's
I watched
crazy.
A bunch of Grims when I first downloaded PUBG, playing PUBG, and he was really good. He wouldn't necessarily show you the strategy, but you could follow his movements and kind of figure out what he was thinking and why he did this and why he landed here and why he was going this way as opposed to that way and why he did different stuff. And I try to do that, especially I did that with PUBG, and I've tried to do that with Fortnite, is find players that are good and try to figure out, what are they doing that makes them good? I understand their fast twitch muscles are way better than mine are going to be, but there's a level of strategy that I can also emulate and learn from them.
Absolutely. So what games in 2018 are you most excited about, would you say, other than the pirate games we talked about? Are there any other ones?
Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm extremely excited for that. I don't have a console, so I'm going to go over and raid my next-door neighbor's house to play. He doesn't know yet, but I'm probably just going to live over there for a couple weeks after the game comes out.
Well, I have bad news. I don't know if it's coming out this year.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was slated for the end of this year.
I think I saw an article, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I think I saw an article where signs were pointing to it being delayed one more time.
Oh, bummer! Yeah, I thought it was going to be like around Christmas of this year. I was like, that's perfect because I get the whole week of Christmas off. So
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe don't quote me on that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll have to go check it. Yeah, but I was super excited about that. I'm trying to think of what other games that are the new FIFA comes out. I get new FIFA every single year. Love FIFA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, huge FIFA fan.
Is that on PC now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They release on PC. And I'm trying to think of Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's coming out, I've heard everybody talk so highly about it that I think I'm gonna try it out for PC.
Yeah,
me and Krunk were talking about that earlier.
The review embargo came out today, and it's, I think last I looked, it's like 91 on Metacritic, which is really high for a Metacritic score. IGN gave it a 9.5. It's so high that I'm actually thinking about getting it on PS4, even though I fully plan on getting it on PC when it comes out later this fall.
Yeah, just get on both. That way you can be playing it on PlayStation and PC at the same time.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a one of those streams where they call them gimmick streams, where I play one with my foot and one with my hands.
That'd be pretty amazing.
I'm my own team, damn it! I don't need anybody else.
Get away from me! I'll get everything.
There's I played Monster Hunter on the Wii U, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and it was a great game, but the install base was really really low because it was on the Wii U.
Yep.
I really liked it, and I thought, man, if I had some friends to play this with, it would be amazing. Oh well, it's only going to come out on the 3DS forever, apparently, and here we are, a couple years later, and now they've got it coming out on PC. I'm looking very much forward to it too.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've never seen any video from it. I don't know anything about the game, but some people that I kind of trust their opinion have given it their thumbs up. So I'm kind of looking
here's
forward
what I
to
can
that
tell
game.
you: the old versions were sort of like basically you have like a hub world where and then maybe I don't know exactly. I haven't followed the PC version or the PS4, the new Monster Hunter World, but the old version basically you have like an overworld area you can go to that can change up what's there, and you basically have to find, trap, and kill monsters. These giant like dinosaur-looking things. There's different ones, and you get different quests to go kill them, and then you can get them from a like a bulletin board, so they can give you the same kill the same monster, but this time do it with this kind of trap, or this time do it with this kind of weapon, and you can upgrade your armors and weapons, and you have to like keep your weapons sharp. You get like sharpening stones. You have to sharpen them between fights, or sometimes during a fight if you dull your weapon while you're.
That sounds really neat.
It is neat. It's a unique experience, and I think Konami makes it. Is that right, Konami? Yeah,
I can find out for you.
Do you have a computer handy?
What are those?
But I think they finally figured out that if they had a robust, fully developed version that was accessible by everybody, it could be a huge multiplayer win.
It's Capcom, by the way.
Capcom. Sorry.
That's really cool. That's kind of how I don't know if you guys ever played Ark Survival Evolved.
I've seen a lot of it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Like you go and hunt dinosaurs and you can capture them, and it's definitely not to the depth that Monster Hunter sound like it's going to be, but it's on the surface, it's kind of like that. That game was, I really did not enjoy that game. My coworker told me to buy it. He loved it. He played it a ton, and I bought it and I played it for about 3 or 4 hours, and I returned it. I was like, I can't. I will not invest any time into this game.
You talk about. Sorry to interrupt, Grant. Just
sorry.
Quickly on the Monster Hunter world, is there any like storyline to it, or is it just you go and fight these things? And
the Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and 4 had a story, but it's if I remember right, basically you're on like a Japanese fishing village, and it's like not Earth, or it's prehistoric Earth. These giant monsters are coming into your land, and you come from a village who thrives on being able to keep them at bay, and the story is there's like a new threat, so you have to go thin the herds down. You have to, and eventually toward the end you will fight the big baddie that's on the cover. At least that's how that one worked. I don't know much about the story of the new one. I've not been looking into it that close.
Okay.
Bet they copied Turok.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Turok 64.
I'm telling you, I love 64 games. I have a 64 emulator on my computer, and I regularly play 64 games like Blitz, Mario 64, Mario Kart. I love them.
One of my, I think probably my, if not my favorite console is the N64 Snuffas, because there were some classic games for that console.
Mine too. My favorite game from Nintendo 64, you guys probably have never played it. King Griffey Jr. came out with a baseball game for the Nintendo 64.
No way.
It's probably either that or Final Fantasy Tactics are 1 and 2 of my favorite games of all time.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yep, it was called King Griffey Jr. Slugfest.
The only reference I know of Ken Griffey Jr. is from The Simpsons.
Oh, imagine that, a Simpsons reference.
Oh no! one of the greatest young baseball players of all time, robbed of his career by injury.
Oh, really?
In a bad case of gigantism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an amazing player.
Yep, he was my idol when I was a little kid playing baseball. Him and a pitcher by the name of John Smoltz for the Atlanta Braves. Those were my two sports idols growing up as a little kid.
He had to be special if I know who he is, because I don't really follow baseball.
Oh man, that's as a little, I say I was a jock in high school, but it started from small. I mean, my life revolved around sports until I was able to stand.
Did you have any older brothers or sisters?
Nope. I had a younger sister. That was it.
Okay, I knew when my nephew played t-ball in like little league that you could always tell who was going to be the pitcher and who was going to be the best players, because if any of them had older brothers or sisters they played with, they already knew how to play baseball when they started. Yep. You know, my nephew was the oldest, so he comes in like, wait, what do I do? I hit the ball with the bat, okay. Yep. And then this other kid comes out, he's just winging a ball right by my head at 50 miles an hour. And I'm like, this kid is 7 years old. He should not be able to throw like this.
I had an uncle who was about 12 or 13 years older than I was.
Okay,
and
so there you go.
I grew up with my grandparents, and he lived in the house with us, so it was kind of like having an older brother. I mean, he would do all the dumb stuff that an older brother would do. You know, we lived, I grew up in South Georgia on a farm, so there wasn't much to do out there, so you had to entertain yourself. So, we'd go out there and have BB gun fights and Roman candle fights and bottle rocket fights, just normal smart stuff.
Oh, yeah. That sounds so cute.
We'd get our action figures and put them in. We'd put them. We had the cement slab, and we'd set the action figures up on the cement slab and pour gasoline around them, and shoot Roman candles out of them and make them explode.
Just kid stuff.
Yeah, just kid stuff. Yeah. Normal stuff.
My friends and I had a bottle rocket fight one time while we were riding our mopeds around in a cornfield. So I know where you're coming from.
I say it's kid stuff, but on New Year's Eve this year we had a Roman candle fight in my wife's cousin's cul-de-sac right out in front of his house. So wow. I haven't grown up, I suppose.
Well, the most important question about all that is, did you win?
Oh yeah, totally, every single time. I actually have 2 BBs still stuck in me from BB gun wars when I was a little kid. Yeah, I have one. I have one in the back of my neck that you can feel, and I have one on my leg that you can feel.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but shouldn't you get that taken care of?
No, it's good. No, the lead's going to work its way right out. It won't hurt my body at all. I'm pretty sure. I think lead is good for your body. I read that.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but I've watched a lot of Dr. House. I'm pretty sure you're going to die of, what is it, lupus any day now. So, wrapping up here, what is your goal for your stream this year? Do you plan it that way? Do you have any big ideas? What do you think you might want to do?
The only goal I really have is to get affiliated. Is that right? Affiliated's where you get to have the subscriber button, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would like to get affiliated by the end of the year, but other than that, I really don't have any goals. For the stream, I just like hopping on. I like playing. I like for other people to hop in my channel, enjoy what I'm playing, or even if they don't enjoy what I'm playing, enjoy watching a drunk idiot play whatever video game I'm playing. Well,
I'll tell you right now, if you want to be affiliated by this time next month, this episode will come out probably tomorrow. You played your Dark Souls stream and say blind run, no spoilers. You will be affiliated in 1 month's time or less. I
gotta grow some balls between now and then when that
all right,
comes out.
Go get your Captain Morgan and have a few shots of rum and you'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So
I gotta get into that. But yeah, I don't really, like I said, I feel like I got into streaming for all the wrong reasons. I watched a bunch of Achievement Hunter videos. And they do some streams, and then I'd get on and I'd watch people like Summit or Ninja or like a lot of the big streamers, and I'm like, man, this is cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get on and watch all these and get people to watch me play and all that. And the more I've been on Twitch, like we said before, the deeper it goes. And I get on. I don't care if anybody doesn't watch my stream at night. I'm having fun playing video games, and if one person hops in and they enjoy my stream for 5 minutes, that's awesome. That's cool that somebody enjoyed watching me play video games. That's cool.
You're like, I'm streaming for me.
Yeah, exactly. I do it to have fun. I enjoy it now. I don't do it for views, and that's something I wish I would have known when I first started Twitch. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Who cares if anybody's watching you? It doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing.
Exactly. You got to get out there and meet people. I was telling Dee the other day that one of the things that I stopped doing maybe over the summer or the fall of last year was just randomly looking up people. I used to go find a game I'm interested in, and I'd on the TV downstairs before I go to bed, and I would scroll to anybody who has less than 10 viewers and just start watching, chatting, and making acquaintances. That's how I met everybody I talked to on Twitch, is that way, with the exception of a couple people that I knew before. But was going around and finding people who were streaming and just striking up a conversation. So I started doing that again here this week, and it's funny. The latest friend I've made is a guy named, and he's so new I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Wizak, Whizzak. He shot and killed me in PUBG, and his name was Twitch_Wizak. And if you remember, were you and I playing, Cherry, or was it Dama and I, where he shot us out of the car?
No, it wasn't me. It must have been Dama.
I think it was Dama. We're in a Jeep on PUBG, and we're like, it was one of those maps where you spend the whole damn time looking for guns, looking for a vehicle, and you're almost dead anyway the whole time. Yep. And I finally found a Jeep, and we're cruising along the bridge, and we're in the blue, and these dudes are just sitting there camping the blue, and he shot me one shot out of the car, dead. I'm like, are you kidding me? Shot me the David, and I thought, oh, PUBG's got a real hacking problem. So I thought, this guy's a streamer, and I went and looked up on his, I watched my replay video, realized he wasn't. He just got a lucky shot. It's happened to all of us. But I went in his chat, and I was like, hey, man, nice kill. And he's like, thanks. And he goes, did you see that? I go, oh, yeah, I was on the receiving end of it. He goes, oh, sorry, dude. I go, no, it's fine. So then I've been watching him stream here and there when I can.
That's another thing that I never expected Twitch to kind of bring out of me is I'm a huge recluse. And I really don't get along with a lot of people.
Fuck you too, man.
I know. Everybody, all my friends called me the old man. Because when they plan something, they know I'm not going to be there. I'm kind of a hermit. I really don't leave my house. I really don't socialize with a lot of people. And Twitch has kind of been good for me to kind of exercise that. Like I will talk to people that just random people in people's chats, and like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to somebody's work event and talk to somebody I didn't know. Like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. So that's
Do you find that experience on Twitch carries over to the real world at all?
No, not really.
It might be then. I've actually thought a lot about this because I'm you guys know me. I'm pretty outgoing in real life too. I almost have to be to play music and to book gigs and stuff like that. But I've talked to a lot of people who have said, just like you're saying, Snuff, that hey, in real life I can't do this stuff. But when you take away the physicality of it, being face to face, having to look them in the eyes, it's a different game. It's a little safer, and you can kind of just get past it a little easier, I think.
You already have a common ground to work off of if you meet in Twitch,
Hey, you like this game,
exactly,
huh?
Me
too.
You're both kind of nerdy. You're online. You're watching somebody play video games. You like this video game, or you like watching people play video games, or you like playing video games.
Cherry, he just called us nerds.
What?
Hey, I'm right there with you guys.
Hang on.
Right there with you guys.
I fully admit to being a nerd. Don't worry.
Cherry rides a goddamn motorcycle.
Oh, that's pretty boss.
Wait, Snuffas, was it you that was saying in chat the other day about the suit behind me?
Yeah.
On my street. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Your dominating
Yes, that is a
suit?
bike suit.
No, it's not.
Shut up, it's a bike suit.
You're such a liar, Cherry. Stop running away.
I will wear it for you next time, okay?
Oh my God.
All right.
You better announce when that is, Cherry. You're going to get all kinds of viewers.
Yeah, make sure you get that special stream title from Twitch. It says "No Children Allowed."
Yeah, 18 only. I'll wear a bike helmet as well.
It's a lot cooler. I feel it a lot easier when you have a common ground already established, on Twitch than meeting people in real life and me having to leave my house and go out into the scary world.
Well, you work from home too,
I do,
don't you?
yes. So other than practice for my children, I really don't leave the house that much.
Are you one of those psychotic sports parents?
I try not to be.
So yes, that's a yes.
That's a yes. Yeah.
I am for my older son, but for my younger son, I'm not.
Yet,
yeah. I try to temper myself, and I'll tell you a little story. We had a really good experience of how not to act last year in the playoffs for my older son's baseball team.
What a way to say it. We had a really good experience of how not to act.
It was
a learning opportunity.
It wasn't from me. We were playing a team. Okay. Yeah, we were playing a team in the playoffs last year, and my older son's. This is 6U baseball. These are 5 and 6-year-old kids, and we had 2 coaches from the opposing team and 2 or 3 parents from the opposing team get thrown out of the park for yelling and cursing and carrying on. And I'm just like these are 5 and 6-year-old kids. Like, yeah, we want them to play hard and pay attention and try their best, but at the end of the day, like, as long as they're learning and having fun and building relationships with the other kids and learning how to interact, like, that's all that matters. Like, if we go home and we don't win, that's fine. You know, that's part of the game. It's part of playing. So it's I've dialed it down a lot over the past 2 or 3 years.
My sister, my sister coaches a girls' football team for our town. And some of the stories that she's been telling me, like, not recently, but over the years, that she's been doing it for a very, very long time. And some of the stories that she comes back with, like, not just about the kids, but some of the parents and how they act. I'm sure they've gotten into fights over some decisions that have been made. It's like, guys, calm down. It's not a professional match.
Yeah.
And
like, this isn't the most important thing that your kid's going to do in their life. Like, exactly. It's a big step. Like, it's a building stone of other stuff. You want to teach them morals and values and everything, but this isn't professional baseball. This isn't professional sport you're playing. You're not getting paid millions of dollars for this, you know?
But what you're getting there is you're getting John Smith and his every failed thing in his life that he says, I'm not going to let that happen to my kid.
Oh, exactly.
My kid's going to get every opportunity. I'm going to pour, and they pour all their hopes and dreams of living vicariously through their child into that. And they, if they blow up and show how important it is publicly, then their kids will know it's important.
Right.
But that's going to blow up in their face. Yep. My nephew is like I told you, he played t-ball, and I used to go to all his games, and I would do the me and a friend of mine had I had my nephew, his kid was in it. We would run the scorers table up in the booth, right, for at the baseball diamond, and we'd announce kids the first time they come out, and he and his wife were like ex-coaches and got kicked out of coaching because of their attitudes.
Wow.
And I didn't realize this when I agreed to do it. He was actually a drummer in my band, and I'm like, that's fine, I'll hang out. And man, they got super salty up in the booth. Like, and I know they're nice people, they're great people, and to hear them just get real venomous about children, I'm like, man, this is something I don't get, and I don't think I'll ever will. I've got a 11-year-old now, and she's not really into sports, but I as long as she's being treated fairly, and I think that's where people don't rationally think about their children. It's a very you're a dad 3 times over. I don't have to explain this to you, but for people who don't have kids that might be listening, there's a biological element of it when your kids are in trouble that, like, Papa and Mother Bear come out of you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can logically look and see how it can boil over into irrational territory, but people need to calm down sometimes. I'm 100% agree with you on that. Mama and Papa Bear, kind of something chemically triggered and happens. I've never. I know a lot of kids we have. You can tell they were kind of forced into playing whatever sport it is I'm coaching, right?
And they're not fully into it. And I've always told, my younger son's kind of too young to understand this, but my older one kind of understands it. I said, I want you to play a sport. I said, I don't care what you play. I said, you can play whatever you want. I said, but I want you to play something that kind of has a team-building aspect to it. And I said, I want you to try your hardest. I said, if you don't want to play, you play baseball one year, you don't want to play baseball again, fine. If you want to play soccer, or if you want to do football, or if you want to do basketball, or whatever you want to do, just
you're gonna do one.
Yeah, I want you to do one of them, and just have that kind of camaraderie thing. And I said, when you get older, if you don't want to play, fine, that's cool. Do whatever you want to do. I said, but if you sign up, I just want you to play your hardest. And
yeah, you're gonna do it. If you do it, do it right.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel like that's a big aspect that a lot of. I know this is a video game podcast, but I feel like that's a big aspect a lot of the sports parents don't realize is it's not the wins and losses and all that stuff. It's teaching them commitment. If you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability. And that's kind of one of those old adages. I grew up in South Georgia. That's one of those old adages I was always raised
By gum,
with.
that's how we do it down here.
That's right.
Well, speaking of Mama Bear, I saw on your stream maybe a week ago, maybe last weekend, that you guys were playing Overcooked together.
Yeah, I've got her.
What's that like?
That's the 3rd stream I've got her on. It's it's a marriage. It's a marriage building game for sure. It helps build communication skills and all that stuff.
It's a test. That's next. What it is.
Yeah. No, not Cuphead next. No, we're not doing. We're not going to Cuphead. Absolutely not. She did pretty good. And, I've said before, she's not a gamer. Like, she doesn't. I think the last game she played before that was maybe GTA 3 on her cousin's PlayStation.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so she's for sure not a gamer. And I downloaded Overcooked because I've seen people play, and I was gonna have my neighbor come over and play it with me. And I told her jokingly, I said, "Hey, come downstairs and play this game on me on stream. Play this game with me on stream."
On you, huh?
Kind of joking, yeah. kind of joking. And so I was down here setting everything up, and she walks down. She was like, "All right, I'm ready to play." And I was like, "Oh, holy shit! All right, yeah, let's get this going." Yeah,
nice.
So she's done it. She's played Overcooked twice, and we streamed Mario Kart 64 once.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I've got her on stream 3 times, and I figured out that's the way to be successful at streaming is get an attractive girl on stream with you.
That's right. That's how you get all the views.
I figured it out. But yeah, she actually enjoys the first hour or so playing it, and then my patience kind of wears thin in like hour 2.5 to 3 hours, and that's usually when we end the stream. Is right around there.
Well, be careful what you do there, because next thing you know, you're gonna have to buy her own setup and stream. So her stream. That's what happened to me. I tried to
experience.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll have my wife in here. And I'm like, hey, let's get on a stream, and then every night she was like, "Okay, I'm ready to stream with you again." I go, "Well, I want to play by myself one night." She's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh man.
And then so she's like, "Do you think I could get my own cam and stream?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want to be your 24/7 tech support like I am right now for everything else." And she's like, "No, I'll figure it all out. Don't worry." In fact, I've had multiple people, I don't know how to really feel about this, go, "When are you and Dee going to stream together again?" I'm like, "What? Am I not good enough for you?"
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You're not pretty enough.
Hey, so when are you going to get that hot girl back on your stream?
Oh, God.
I don't know, I'm always torn when like you and Dee are streaming. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, who am I going to watch?
I always do it.
Oh, well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't ever let that stop you, dude. Go just pick D, and it's fine. Whenever I stream when she's on, I just know that I'm probably going to get a good host later. That's all.
Is that a euphemism?
Not intentionally, but yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, it is a good one
sure,
too.
Just roll with it. I'll pull D up on my computer, and then I'll put you up on my projector, so I get to.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
See the PUBG kills on my wall.
You get to see the giant head that starts attracting its own.
Huge head. What did Wolf say? You need 3 frying pans to make a helmet for you.
Something like that. It's funny. I got new glasses today, like the anti-reflective glasses.
Yeah. And, do you want to tell them why?
No, those glasses are fine. Those I got them right here. They're just fine.
Yeah.
I bent them back into shape. So the other day, I could get some low blood sugar from time to time, and the other day I didn't realize how low it had gotten, and I got killed in a bullshit way in PUBG, like happens every time you play PUBG. And my glasses slipped off my head, and when I reached for them, I knocked them over into the wall.
I've had that happen before. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Wow.
Yep,
exactly.
There's the video on my YouTube of me dropping my controller on the ground while playing WWE 18, and it just burst into a bunch of pieces.
Can you believe how cheaply they're made nowadays?
Horrible. I mean, just drop it. This is 2.5, 3 feet desk. Drop it right on the ground. It just snaps everywhere. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I remember back in my day, controllers were made. Of course, they were just Atari joysticks with one button. But they were durable. God,
throw these all around. I mean, drop them on accident.
Well, guys, I think we've gone just to over an hour now. We could talk to you all night, Snuffas, but I think we probably ought to call it. How should people, other than going to your twitch.tv/Snuffas89 with 2 Fs, how best could they get a hold of you on social media?
Hit me up. I got a YouTube channel. Just search Snuffas in YouTube. I have been uploading videos more recently. About 6 months ago, I was really good at it. I was really disciplined in uploading videos, and I kind of fell off. But I'm going to start uploading more videos, and that's kind of like my passion. I like uploading and editing and doing all that stuff. So Snuffas on YouTube, and then just Google Snuffas on Twitter. That has all my notifications on when I'm going to be streaming, what I'm streaming, and all that stuff.
Nice.
Yep. got that new fresh OBS overlay today too.
Oh, how'd you make out with that?
Pretty good. I put some. I looked at your YouTube thing about the mic filters. I added all in, and then I added some new overlays from the OBS stock overlay system. It was extremely easy to use. Looks really good.
It was good. I mean, about how it's kind of annoying. Some of the things, the features moved and changed, but it's overall it's worth it.
I 100% agree. We'll see. When I'm streaming with it tomorrow night and everything crashes and I'm dropping 80% of my frames, I might have to switch back.
Well, speaking of animations and things, if you guys are Twitch streamers out there, CherryCake has been making, for about a year now, has been making intro overlay stuff, intro videos, transitions. You want to talk a little bit about that, Cherry?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that plug, by the way. Wasn't expecting that. It's more, I do still do that stuff, but it's more towards the video editing side now. I'm currently editing for a partner streamer called Krunnky. So yeah, if anybody needs any YouTube highlights from previous streams, feel free to contact me. You can get a hold of me.
They could do that by just making you an admin on their channel, right? That you could just download them and edit them. Is that how you guys do it?
Well, me and Krunnky share a Dropbox.
Okay.
So he imports the raw files, so they're quite high quality, which is like the best way to do it. But gotcha. I can grab videos from Twitch anyway, providing that they've got the VODs. So yeah, it's no trouble at all.
Cool.
And Cherry, do you design emotes too for affiliated and partnered people on Twitch?
I do a little bit of that, yeah. I'm not really an artist per se, so I can't draw them from scratch. But anything that's like shapes, that kind of thing, images, I can do that. But I can't draw them from scratch because I don't have that artistic streak.
You did D's, right?
Did I do D's?
Crap, sorry.
Oh yeah, I did do that. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That one's one of the most D's and Krunkies, I think, are the two most perfect emotes for anybody's channel I've seen on Twitch. I mean, it captures them perfectly in one emote.
Her apologizing and me screaming. Yeah, it's a good look for me.
Yeah.
So, Cherry, how do people reach out to you to get your services again?
The best way to contact me is on Twitter. So if you want to go by my Twitter handle, it's CherryCake518, and that's the best way to get hold of me.
And you can also catch her at CherryCakeTV on Twitch.
Yep. Tomorrow when she streams The Sims, right? I think is what you said. Still waiting on that Sims stream.
Snuffas, we agreed on this. It will happen. It will happen one day. I
sure.
promise you.
Okay. All right. Uh-huh.
I'm still going to do it tomorrow now.
just to show
you. Show me. Just to shove it in my face.
I'll do it right now if you want.
Oh, well, all right.
You guys could find me at twitch.tv/Krunnky. That's Krunnky with 2 N's, KRUNNKY. I'm also on Twitter at Krunnky_Twitch. Just to be extra confusing, I put Twitch in my Twitter name. And I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
I guess so, yeah.
All right, well, until next time, we will see you guys later, I guess. This is a bad ending.
Just end it.
I'm just gonna leave it just like this.
This is perfect.
Bye.
Bye.